Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Nino Kuni. So, as far as the characters in the game, they think the game is over. The world is at peace once more, time to celebrate. We're gonna go in this area and see a cutscene and credits. At least that's what the characters, Oliver and Esther and Swain, think. But they've really spoiled the surprise, as it were, when you can look at um, percentage completions and see that at the very least there is one more major part of narrative story that's going to happen, and at least two more if you look at the map locations. Um, well, it's not showing it here, but it shows it in the world map down here. You can see that there is a whole nother location that is shown up on this map. Plus, the Wizard's Companion, if you look at all the pages, still has stuff that is locked enough to show that there's got to be more content. And even if we ignore these small little squares, there's entire spells that we haven't done. Almost certainly, since we know, because we saw the trailer at the beginning of the game that spoiled the vast majority of the game, pretty much every single cutscene in at least the first two-thirds of the game is put in that trailer, teaser trailer. Uh, so everything is spoiled. But most egregiously, the thing that's spoiled is the fact that the White Witch exists at all. There is an alternate reality version of this game, certainly, where we would have played 56 hours into the game and been scratching our head going, who's the White Witch? Is that Alicia? Is her wrath Oliver against the Dark Djinn? Um, and then for, like, almost certainly they should have kept that in their pocket because there's been no interaction. Like, nobody of this world seems to even know that she exists. Like, not we've talked to practically every single person on on this planet, and nobody has mentioned the White Witch. There's no reason to belay it. We may literally go into credits, but if we do, there is definitely going to be some post game content. There may not be as much post game content as one would think, though it is possible that we we run into a more abridged experience. What I would suspect you would want to do is you would potentially have some narrative reasons to run around and look at the rocks, at the jungle encounters of people, to run around and get the hidden chest, to actually tell the player that hidden chest exists, because that's frankly been a secret that they didn't even mention unless I overlooked the one sentence that mentioned it. Uh, Ideally, it would give us a reason to run around in the open world and fields and make the enemies in the open worlds and fields stronger so they will start attacking you instead of running away. So, with all that being said, it would make a lot of sense for the White Witch to cast some kind of spell and engulf this entire world into some kind of darkness, miasma, despair, something that just makes the wild familiars appear a lot more. Now, way early in the game, like in the first couple hours, they said all these wild familiars outside of the cities had to do with uh, the dark Djinn. With the dark Djinn gone, you would kind of assume that they would start to disappear, but maybe he didn't actually have a direct effect on it. Honestly, I'm not sure if the dark Djinn really was doing much at all. Could have just been the White Witch uh, breaking the hearts of people. I could see each of the leaders of the three main cities uh, also being heartbroken again. Uh, Here he says it's been a long time, Your Majesty. It really hasn't been that long. Last time you would have had to have seen him would have been when he carved up the clarion to dispel the mists in the Miasma Marsh, which would have been at most 3 hours ago in gameplay time. In chronological time, probably only a very little amount of time. Actually, when you think about it, they showed very early in the game the Esther and Oliver camping and sleeping one evening, but outside of that one evening, the rest of the game has felt like one continuous day. Well, Oliver also was knocked out for several days at one point too, so maybe a week has been explicitly said as far as the timeline. Whereas I would assume you would probably lean to assume that this whole journey has taken several months. Probably not years. Definitely not decades. Although, who knows? Time could be completely different in this world, and Oliver could be 50 years old and just not age the same in this world. And it certainly wouldn't benefit this game to have like a day night cycle uh, that much. It would potentially maybe let you have more variety of the types of creatures or the strengths of creatures um, in the open world, but that's about it. It's been a long time, Your Majesty. Meow, hello. One here's congratulations are in order. You defeated, you know who. Meow, old habits. You defeated Shadar, did you not? One always knew that you would, of course. One had absolute faith from the first. Well, we couldn't have done it without you, Your Majesty. We couldn't even have gotten near him without the clarion. Meow. One's little creation came in handy, did it? How grateful. Oliver also got this magical shell that I don't know what the magical shell is really going to do. Increases defense or something. That's right. If the heads of the three kingdoms hadn't worked together, we would have never made it. Young Oliver, a hero. How time flies. You seem like such an ordinary boy. But you followed one's orders to the letter and bravely set out to defeat the Dark Djinn. Now it seems like only yesterday. I suppose it is worth pointing out Nino Kuni means I am the king, as far as I understand Japanese. I don't know a scenario here where Oliver could become the king of anything, because the kingdoms are all split and divided. There's not really even a lot of talk of him becoming a great sage, or the leader of the sages, or anything like that, or the last remaining sage, or a sage at all. What then ain't how it. I mean, do you think you might have misremembered things that a little, Your Majesty? Yeah, why, of course not. But enough about oneself. Wander from another world. You and your companions have done well. King Tom here is taking all the credit. You have saved our world. What will you claim as your reward? Good point. I'm sure we can think of something. Any ideas, Oliver? Hmm. I want to go home to Motorville. Well, nothing's stopping him from doing that. Like, he has the spells. Hmm. Meow. Surely not. You've made up your mind, haven't you, Oliver? I suppose it is your home after all. Well, yeah, but Alicia, I mean your mom, she ain't. It's okay. Maybe I could say my mom. But meeting all of you and coming to your world and going on this adventure, it's made me stronger. Again, this would be like the ending if you were to take the perception that everything that's happened in this game has just been happening in the mind of a grieving boy who lost his mother. Um, Definitely up to the point where it's revealed that he can't bring his mother back to life. Uh, That being said, you don't get a Ni no Kuni 2 if that is the way you tell the story, nor is that a particularly happy ending. Maybe we'll go back to Motorville and find that the White Witch has, like, destroyed it or done something uh broken-hearted everybody. Hey, you can say that again. Hee. But now I'm kind of lost. I don't know if there's a problem here. Like, he could cast Gateway, as far as I understand it right now, and go back to Motorville. He can't cast Breach Time and go back in time. I don't think time has significantly moved forward in Motorville. Traveling with all of you has been so much fun, and I've learned that there's nothing we can't do if we work together. But I started out on this journey because I thought I could save my mom, and now that's over. Oliver, says Esther. So I have to go back to Motorville. That's where me and Mom live together. And Miss Layla's there, and Phil, and Myrtle too. And sorry, everybody. I should have spoken to you all about this. It's alright, Oliver. It's your life. It's your decision. He's right. You've really grown up, Oliver. Of course he has. He had expert guidance. Very much. I must say it's not been easy at times, but Swain was talking about himself. I guess at this point, we're probably fairly confident that Esther and Swain are not going to end up as romantic interests. They never went down that direction. Arguably, they never went down any directions at all as far as character development of any characters. And that sucks. I think, in retrospect, even though I would have cringed about Esther swooning for 10 years plus older Swain, or Swain lecherously hitting on a 10 years plus younger Esther, I may have cringed at that, particularly for a game that pretends like it's a kid's game, but I think I would have preferred it. Like, it would have been cliche and cringy, but it would have been something. Um, Instead, all you get is the occasional sentence that shows Esther and Swain playfully fight with each other every now and then. Stop it, both of you. What a pair of big heads. Heh. Ha 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 ha. So does this mean all this? The four of us talking together, laughing together, it's all over? No, you'll come back and see us, won't you, Oliver? Of course you will. This is your home from now, ain't it, Ollie boy? Of course it is. Thanks, everybody. Miaha. One has had a marvelous idea. Would you care to hear it? Can't you see we're having a moment here, Mon? Fine, go on then. What is it? We're having a grand celebration, are we not? Why don't we make young Oliver's departure part of the festivities? Huh, I couldn't. I think it's a wonderful idea. Please, Oliver, say you'll do it. Gee, I guess. Sure. Thank you, Your Majesty. Perfect. Then it's decided that you will have a hero send-off. Go to King Tom and give him the good news when you're ready. Well, I mean, there's basically nothing else to do. Yes, technically we still have, like, a quest that we haven't done. And that one quest would not get me another stamp card, nor would it get me the, let's see, 16 more stamp cards I would need. Yeah, it would be just like straight up insanity to think this is the end of the game. Like, while it might be somewhat believable that I've missed 17% of the Wizard's Companion content, it the or even it would make sense that I've missed some of the Creature Compendium stuff, because I just didn't grind out and capture a bunch of creatures. The amount of alchemy completion, I still have yet to figure out what brings that percentage higher. And the task completion in particular is at 74%. With one task, that's just going to go up to 75%. So we're only 3/4 of the way through with that, and very potentially only 3/4 of the way through um, with the game. We never were able to do anything in the lower left hand island either. So unless time is gonna go forward, hmm, that's about the only thing I could think that could happen here. Is he goes to Motorville, time goes forward, and then it's several months later um, that we return to this world, or even several years later. It would be kind of interesting if Oliver came back and he was the same age, and then Esther is in this older version of herself, and Swain is in an older version, and things have just drastically changed. I also wonder if the city in the lower left hand corner that is covered in smog and we can't reach it, I wonder if that might have been the Dark Gen's city that was destroyed thousands of years ago, or where it was destroyed. Although arguably, wherever the Dark Gen's original city, Lucian's original city was, he destroyed it so long ago. It could have been anywhere and then be rebuilt. You have performed enough heroic deeds for one lifetime, Oliver. One takes it you will be now returning to your own world. Leave everybody behind and return home to Motorville. Hmm. Saying no didn't trigger anything. Very well, then a magnificent farewell feast will be prepared. Again, in any kind of JRPG or RPG, if they're popping up a question like that, you assume it's a point of no return. Hmm. Esther's voice actor was totally wrong, by the way. She's just way too British compared to any of the other characters. It would have made sense if she was from the other world, or and that's why she had the weird accent. Hmm. 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 So if the White Witch could have done this the whole time, why didn't she? Why did she wait? Hmm. And it's just gonna turn them into zombies and monsters. Although half of them were anthropomorphic animals to start with. Hmm. 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 This, I suppose, potentially means we won't have to do any tasks for these monsters. So I don't know how we're going to get any more tasks otherwise. We'll have to find a city where people aren't transformed. But see, almost certainly, you can tell that this is just like content that they could have said no to. They could have simply teased the White Witch. Um, for the next game, they could have left this content for a next game. Um, they could have simply had a better person in charge to start with to say we don't need this type of content. Let's make the content up until this point better, make the gameplay mechanic better, have more variety in the monsters have better writing, better animation. Um, inherently, just by hiring Studio Ghibli, even though that did get them a cheap pop, and it really is the only reason I'm even playing this game, they almost certainly ruined their budget. I should also say that the banner for Ni no Kuni, which I can look at right now on my second monitor, has Oliver right next to the Dark Jinn as soulmates, whereas all the other soulmates in the game are kind of reflected around the middle of the banner. So, if you were to follow that same logic, it does imply, even though the story hasn't said this, that the green haired little girl P might be the soulmate of the White Witch. Which, okay, that would make sense, certainly. If the White Witch is like pure evil and then P is pure good, and they are balancing each other out. Of course, it may not be the case. What is weird though is the father, even though his face is not shown in the banner, there is a father figure shown in the banner for both worlds. And yet, once again, we've never heard word one of Oliver even having a father, which he may very well not. Now that we know he was some kind of magical creature, there literally may have never been a father figure, even if he didn't have a biological father. Question mark, question mark, question mark says Oliver. I assume this is going to be P. Who's there? It's me, P. Oliver. It's falling. The ash is falling again. I have to go back there. P, what do you mean the ash is falling? Wait, I get it. You mean the mana, huh? The stuff from before, right, P? Are you here now in this world? Are you here in Ding Dong Dell? P, wait. P, wait for me. P. Esther says, don't scare me like that. Why are you shouting? What? Where am I? We're flying. Wait, is this? It is, boy. You're back aboard the most formidable ship ever to sail the skies. The Iron Wyvern. Which, honestly, we should have ridden it at least once before this point. So this might be a case where they have to be above the clouds to stop the ash from falling on them or the mana falling on them. Oliver, you're awake. Prince Marcasian, what are you doing here? It's quite a tale, let me tell you all that has been happening. And then they skip over that, so it wasn't all a dream. Suddenly, no, the mana, it changed him. It changed everything. That's right, Mun. If it hadn't been for the prince here, we would have been changed into horrible beasties ourselves. Proper close it was. What? So everybody in Ding Dong Dell is? Dot dot dot. By the time I arrived, it was already too late. Most of the people had already been transformed into those things. Um, I was lucky even to be able to get you and your friends out of there. Inherently, you have to kind of assume that if the White Witch could have transformed everybody to start with, she weakened herself by doing it. Otherwise, she would have done it in the first place. Or she's just been saving up her energy or collecting powers to be able to pull off this spell. Or she's been toying with Shadar. Perhaps she needed to release and collect all the evil in Shadar first. Um, it's going to be very weird, though, if we cannot go anywhere on land. I would assume that the shell would protect Oliver, and I assume it probably would protect the friends too. I was lucky even to be able to get you and your friends out of there. Gee, and it's not Ding Dong Dale alone. The three kingdoms have been affected by the curse of the mana. So just the three main kingdoms and not the other cities, apparently. Ding Dong Dell, Al Mamoon, and Hamlin all have been devastated. That's awful. Al Mamoon too? Oh no. How could this happen after we and Mom and Lucian did to protect this world? Who the flip is doing this, man, and why? Well, whoever it is, they're stupidly powerful. The Ash wasn't the work of some 2-bit villain. Yep. You could have easily started the second game this way. But oddly, Ni no Kuni 2 doesn't seem to include these characters or focus on these characters, which then puts you in a weird position to have to use this content or replace the characters in the content, which you could have done that certainly. Um, just swap out the 3D models and have the White Witch um, show up at the beginning of a Ni no Kuni 2 or a theoretical different Ni no Kuni 2. It's weird to be 50 hours into a game and the titular wrath of the White Witch is only now showing up. Ash, of course. P knows something. P, have you seen her? She was in my dream, she said. She said the ash is falling again. And you're sure she meant the mana? What else could it be? She said something else. And she said something else? I have to go back there. What? Go back where? I don't know, but that's what she told me. She visited you in your dreams. There's no coincidence. Let's go see her. Wait here, your majesty. We'll go find P and we'll ask her what she meant. Will you, now? Then you must allow me to accompany you. Huh? You want to come with us? Don't you have subjects to be looking after, Emperor? This is bigger than the Empire alone. And if there's a small chance this will save our world, I must do everything I can. You won't get any special treatment from us. You know that, don't you? Of course. Fine, as your eminence wills it. Let's go. Let's show this man a spewing maniac the power of the great sages. Very well. Thank you, brother. Alright, let's go to Motherville and find P. I'll leave affairs here in your capable hands, Captain Kublai. There are many refugees aboard. I pray that you will use your stout heart to help them regain their courage to fight. I will. Leave them to me, lad. Huh? Why are these two being so chummy? Ain't it, though? He pinched his map, didn't he? When did they kiss and make up? Our world is in danger. We must put aside petty squabbles and the theft of the map. It was for my own sake. That it was. You need something to snap you out of your wretchedness. You're an emperor, not a moonstruck goat herd. I am better now. Finally learning to stick up for yourself, are you? I had a fine teacher. Now to Motherville, and trust myself to your command, Oliver. So Marquesian and his familiar have joined your party, which wouldn't be terrible if Drippy disappeared at this point. You can now switch characters in and out of the battle lineup via the Friends and Familiars menu option. So late in the game to be introducing these kinds of gameplay mechanics. It's kind of ridiculous. Alright, let's just see how this really would play out. Yeah. At the bounce of it, it does seem like we will only have him as a character, and he's at 49, and Swain is about to be at 49. He's got a different kind of weapon. This Imperial Scepter brings his attack kind of high. But see, he would be... He has a whole different set of characters that he could hold. So we should think about if we can get some high level characters here. And then equipment wise, suppose you just start with one and then you start to think about, is there something better available? And if there is something better available, we'll equip it. This one wears armor, which I guess none of my other characters wear armor at all. So I've been kind of pathetically in a bad position having several pieces of armor that suppose we should just see if that is a good idea. And then couple defense or accuracy and evasion. I guess we'll just give accuracy and evasion. Meanwhile, we could increase his attack when HP is full by 3. Or we give a just defense in general. Or attack in general. 2 attack there. Probably better. Do we have anything else that would be better? This would be better. This is better. Yeah, I think that probably works about as good as it's going to go. Then we could look at Imperial Scepter, but it is, I guess, really just a wand. So maybe there's an argument to swapping out Oliver's wand. As far as creatures go, I think every single creature I have is in its spot. Yeah. They're not in the exact correct spots of where you would expect them to be, but well, this guy can go over here. This really is going to call towards the idea of pulling out something else. And let's see. Abilities. He has all kinds of healing and spell things. But I wonder what his... He has attack, runaway, tactics, and spells. He has trick shots. She has songs. So she's the only one that can capture people. So it would just come down to, do you want this brother or this brother as an ally, unless you want to completely eliminate Oliver and just make him be the new character, which I almost wouldn't be surprised if Oliver does die. Let's see. Let's come over here. We are looking for the green thing and a lemon drop. Green with... Let's see if we can pull something out. Interesting. He's giving me a ridiculous amount of stuff for no reason. Sort by name, sort by highest level. Okay. Jabby is the highest level. It would make sense for him to be included. And then it is just going to come down to... This is the lemon drop one. We may not have a green thing at all. That may be a character class that we have yet to run into. Nope, that's one. Okay. So let's just evolve this. All right. This 40 potentially could be replaced with this. What kind of equipment does he wear? He wears cloaks the same. He uses spears the same, and fangs. So this guy uses horns and claws, and this equipped one is giving him plus 31, plus 22. We don't have anything better. We could go full damage instead of increased accuracy. Honestly, that probably is better. Whereas if I was to equip something here, that's 38 plus magical, 16. It's going to be really hard to compare all of this. Yeah, because it's definitely just going to be very easy to do that. So 147, 130, 112 on the left side versus 182, 91, 117. And then 93, 58, and 162 versus much bigger numbers here. So this guy's no good. So let's start by dropping off that familiar. And that'll very quickly let us get back to where we were before. An accuracy down to 9 on this one if I equip that, versus a high accuracy of 51 there. Let's go with that one. Okay, that's probably the right move. Hmm. 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 Then we're running out of badges. I don't think any of these would upgrade to something better. Occasionally poisoned versus 38 plus 36 plus 18, 38 plus 16, and occasionally poisoning it. That's not that big of a change. And then this would be slightly better, but you would lose. See, magic defense is 172. It goes to 133. I think you keep that. And then, yep, keep that. Let's see what we can equip here. Almost certainly what's going to happen is I'm going to go into a battle and find the find that the battle is gonna level this guy up to his top level, unless he is already at top level. 2, 5, 3 increase familiarity, which would increase stamina. I think you probably use a stalwart scale on that, because that guy's gonna die no matter what anyways. This guy's metamorphosable. We'll swap this guy around so he's first pick. This guy may, none of these guys may level up at all. Nor do I feel like they're going to come into play at the um, no chests. Good to know. I don't think they're really going to come into play as what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. It's probably going to be a bit of a struggle to get all of the characters level up, or to suspect that anything different is gonna happen in the fights if one of the people get knocked out. It would make a lot more logical sense for another person to jump in. So we have a collection of people here. Let's try Nature's Tongue on this. So these are effectively the important characters that they cared about. This is interesting because you can see how, while she is dark skinned, she is lighter than the father. And I still don't know how Esther is supposed to be the daughter of this sage. I guess maybe genetics don't work the same in this world. All they're doing is looking at the clouds. This is just a skybox. Arguably, it's not a terrible looking skybox, so it would have maybe made sense if when we were flying around with the dragon, if we had run into a few flying creatures. Although I don't know how you have that gameplay mechanic work. I don't think there's anybody else around. Okay. Off to Motorville we go. It could have been worse, certainly. We could have thought we were about to end the game and then had to do a gauntlet fight against the White Witch with no more content. We've kind of forgotten about this parrot. So it seems to me from that cutscene, which was voiced, and that was nice, um, that they have restarted the world multiple times, almost like the world is a simulation, uh, ending it and restarting it, and that they are at some level unaffected by a world ending and demigods and gods, effectively. In my dream, P told me something. She said the ash is falling again. She must know something. We need to find her. Fair enough. Well, if you've got any ideas, let's go and ferret her out, shall we? Interestingly, it seems to me like we are not making any effort um, to do much of anything else. This Motorville still doesn't have a shop or anything that you can buy things from. There's not really a reason to talk to people. They're not going to give you alchemy spells. It would make a lot of sense if if this store in particular lets you buy things. Although I guess maybe you don't have any real world money either. Motorville never expanded. It's still the small collection of locations and roads that you can't go any further on. It just really fails in a lot of ways. It would make a lot of sense if Ding Dong Dell was exactly the same layout as Motorville, and uh, you never went back to Motorville casting Gateway. Instead, you went to Ding Dong Dell and did about the same things, or you had to go to Ding Dong Dell always to cast Gateway. It is a little weird that Gateway always takes you to Motorville and nowhere else, and yet, when you cast Gateway from Motorville, you end up in a very different place. There are several characters here that feel like they are copies or soulmates of characters um, in the other world. For instance, that girl with the dog, we saw in Hamlin a girl with a dog, which was odd because we haven't seen any other pet dogs. And here's you have like a sewer lid that's like the sewer lids to retrieve and drop off familiars. Cars, not so much copied over. Stop signs and fire hydrants not copied over. Take note though that there is nobody here, as far as we can tell, that seems to be sick or turned into a monster or anything. So if they had soulmates in Ding Dong Dell, why did that not happen? Like, should have. You should have come back to Motorville and been devastated to find everybody is passed out on the ground or turned into monsters even in this world. Um, in fact, you could have had that same scene where you made it to Motorville, saw that everybody's heart was broken or that everybody had been passed out or turned into monsters, and then have to run back. It would make more sense for the White Witch to wait for him to be gone, then launch her attack. That would buy her a few seconds. And then we have this weird Resident Evil style of setup with the arbitrary camera angles and no special map. And I heavily suspect she's not going to be in any of these rooms. These rooms could have never been made and it would have been fine. So it's either in the mother's room, which at this point the mother is just dead. Hey, it's Mom's diary. Look, the pendant she gave me, it's glowing. Even obtained a new Tale of Wonder, the young woman's journal. By the way, speaking of pendants, I guess it is just an item over here, and I have no interest in like sorting out any of these items. Alicia's pendant. It contains nothing but pure motherly love. It's not magical, apparently. We never really did anything with this cherub's wing. The heart-winning harp. To enhance the heart-winning harp. Heart-winning harp. I don't think that's what I need to do with it, though. I think there's another spell. That I haven't unlocked yet. Or even, oddly, I actually have unlocked it. But I can't do it. Let's see. We'll go up here to magic. Let's see. Not second self. Not those. It's one of these brown ones that we've unlocked a long time ago, but oddly we can't do anything with. See, ship shaped, shrink. Whale cat, whale fish. I swear I saw it. There was a spell that let you merge items. Fuse, here it is. Produce wondrous new items that are greater than their parts. So we have to get that spell. We have to be able to use that spell. Seems very odd that we still can't use the spells. But I guess that'll be something later. The game is just prematurely giving me items and ingredients. And here's P just sitting on your bed crying. I wonder, I guess this is as close to her home as anything. I wonder if it is a case that P might be Oliver's daughter from the future. If you can cast um break time once in a lifetime, maybe that's what she did. Or maybe she even is a ghost that cast break time, and that changes the rules slightly. P, you're here. It's still ridiculous how much he just kind of over emotes when he talks sometimes. Sniff, snob. What's wrong, P? She's there, is she? I still can't see her, Mun. Ask her about this ash stuff, will you? Oliver? Why, sob. P, did something happen? Oliver, it fell. What fell, P? Sob, it fell again. The ash, it fell. And now everyone's heart has gone all bad. P might be from a different iteration of the other world that has been reset. She may have been a potential saver that didn't succeed. You mean all over in the other world? It was my fault. Huh? No, don't say that. It's not your fault, P. How could it be? Why, it's all my fault. Listen to me, P. It's not your fault. We're gonna fix this. P. It was you who saved me, wasn't it? I heard your voice inside me. I've heard it so many times. It was you, wasn't it? Yes, I went to meet you. Thank you, P. I knew it was you. And that means there's no way it can be your fault. Oliver? I have to go, Oliver. I have to go back there. To the other world. Huh? You want to go to the other world? Okay, listen to me, P. It seems like there's some connection between you and the mana. But you're a good girl, okay? You're a nice, kind person. This isn't your fault. I'll prove it to you. I promise. So come with me. Come with us to the other world. Okay, I'll come with you. Well, they're definitely making no bones about it. We now have 2 reserve people. So let's see what that looks like. She is not going to be a fighter. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. We can't even... Most of the other people can't even see her. Or none of the other people can see her. I feel like when P says the other world, though, she may mean a completely different other world. There is still a possibility that she's from a third reality or different timeline. Hmm. 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 They can see her? Hmm. The controller vibrated when she cast that spell, which, by the way, this game has really not done anything with the vibration feedback, which most games don't, so I can't really complain too much. She's not see-through anymore, so has it been the case that she's never been in this other world, and he's only seen her in dreams? I guess that might be the case. I haven't been paying that much attention to, um, so yeah, it definitely looks like she is visible, um, in this other world, no longer ghost-like, although oddly dressed, more like from Motorville than from this world. And I wish they had just given the other world a different name, make something up. Narnia, something like that. Uh, Flipping Nora, Dwit of a thing like her letting rip with a blooming great spell like that. There's amazing. Why is that line voice acted? The previous line wasn't voice acted, and we're still in the visual novel interface of having to read and press A. Odd. Odd that they would just start talking. Uh, and extra odd because this goes to show all the other times, which there were several other times in which they had voice acting and then the subtitles would just go forward on their own. And I've stupidly set the subtitles to move so fast that I missed some of it. Uh, like all of those other sections could have been like this. That implies to me there is a chance that this last quarter of the game, and I think we have to say last quarter at this point, maybe if was made by a different team, and that would be somewhat believable. I wouldn't be surprised if there were actually 3 or 4 teams around the world making different parts of this game, and then it was all kind of smashed together at the last second. And her having kind of a British accent, nowhere as bad as Esther having a British accent, unless we find out Esther is actually from Motorville or the real world also, which wouldn't make a lot of sense. Or we find out that P actually is from isn't from the real world, which she may not be. Wait, though, that doesn't make sense. Oliver wasn't from Motorville in the real world. So Oliver theoretically shouldn't have been able to see anybody in Motorville. So you'd have to assume that the great sage Alicia did some kind of spell on him to let him see people in the world, and did some kind of spell on herself to let other people see her and all that. Their explanation to solve a tiny problem really just creates a much bigger problem. Um, unless we were going to get a really crazy twist where Oliver actually wasn't seeing people in the real world, and there's hundreds or thousands of more people in Motorville than what we see, and the people we do see in Motorville are actually refugees from this other world. Yeah, and there's kind of no reason to suspect that's going to actually happen. Yeah, and even Esther realizes that's not the case. They're not going to bother to explain it. Multiple worlds with multiple different types of magic is an interesting idea. Certainly, that's what the Magic the Gathering card game is kind of around. Is different planes and planeswalking and learning different magic that way. And certainly, you could try to go in a lot of detail and potentially get caught up in a lot of minutia if with that concept. But this being a kids game, they probably won't go into that detail. Oliver will probably learn Purify, and that'll be that. It'd be interesting if Marquesian learns Purify and Oliver can't cast it, and then we have to play as Marquesian. Um, Marquesian is a king, so yeah, I guess Maybe in this last second, Marquesian might could be swapped out to be the main character. Although I doubt that's what's going to happen. She can't even say the word correctly outside of casting the spell. Or maybe that is how it's pronounced, since so many other things are mispronounced in this game. Arguably, that is very bad for kids' games. If this was supposed to be a kids' game, even for a Japanese audience, particularly for a Japanese audience, if you've got like young kids who are learning English as a second language in Japan, and you're giving them misspellings and mispronunciations, that's not helpful. That's not educational at all. Hmm. 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 Question mark, question mark, question mark. Hmm. 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 We're gonna get an expedition dump here. Hmm. 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 So yeah, expedition dump, revealing of these secret bad guys, getting a name of Gallus way too late in the game. He could have said his name was Gallus when we first met him. It wouldn't have mattered. It doesn't mean anything. You could have said his name was Gallus of the Zodiacs. Again, Zodiac being mispronounced and merged with, I guess, Monarch. Gallus the Zodiacs, I don't understand. We're back to non voice acting in the same kind of animation style. Seems some aspects of our world remain hidden even to us. Never mind all that. Did you hear what he said? The show did. P's magic can save the world. She can cure all the people who are sick. Now, there's a danger here when Gallus says she can purify the world. You have to be a little cautious that maybe he means a different kind of purifying the world. Like, if you got rid of all the life on the planet, you would be purifying it effectively, in many people's opinion. Bad guys' opinions in particular. She can cure all the people who are sick. But the three kingdoms are rife with horrors. We can't send her into the midst. She's only a child. I'm not a child! Exclamation point. Hang on a minute, Your Holiness. Have you seen who you're traveling with? This lot aren't exactly grown-ups. Yeah, if anything, this is kind of a bad message as they're getting younger and younger to join this group. But that's the case in almost all fantasy stories, is that kids are way too young to be taking on such dangers. We can protect P. Please, Your Majesty, you have to trust us and her. She's one of us now. She's our friend. He best friends. You wish me to place my faith in her as a friend and an ally. It seems I have little choice. Hey, all right, little Miss Wizard. It looks like we're counting on you. P, let's save the world together. Hooray! But I kind of don't feel like she's just going to be used as a fighter. In fact, there's a possibility here. Take note, it's been a fairly long time since we've done a fight. There may be very little actual fighting in this last act of the game. Um, and it may just be doing some quests and seeing a lot of cutscenes. It's even worse than I had imagined. The town has been completely overrun by these things. I would almost wonder, and Final Fantasy did this pretty awfully. They put all of their story into an animated movie. I'd almost wonder if this final act was planned to be an animated movie to wrap up the narrative or be a side story. And I don't think that's a good concept. And thank goodness most video games have not embraced that idea. Um, Even the rather successful Sonic movie 1 and 2 are not trying to tie into actual Sonic games. And it's even worse than I had imagined. The town has been completely overrun by those things. It's terrible. Who could do this to these poor people? And there we were thinking the odd broken heart and nightmare or two were the end of the world. Turning them into monsters doesn't really kill them. So I would have to assume it's just step one in a longer plan to see the world collapse. I'd assume that turning them into monsters probably stops them from feeding themselves and maintaining their infrastructure in the city. And eventually it would collapse because of that. Or it stops them from having kids and can generationally procreating. And maybe the White Witch would be happy with that if it took an entire generation to kill the world. But we have P on our side. We can bring them back. We can bring them all back. Yes, we can, with Syncify. Indeed, the spell destroyed the black crystal, and judging by what followed, it would seem that was the source of the mana. Yeah, man, I reckon there's probably another one around here somewhere, ain't it? Let's see if we can find it, shall we? Where do you reckon this crystal's going to be then, Ollie boy? It looks like we will have a fight on our hands if we try and head any further into town. But Mr. Drippy, we can't fight the people of Ding Dong Dell. I know that, man, but we don't have much of a choice, is it? We'll just have to, I don't know, knock them out gently or something. Leave no lasting damage, like. As long as they're still breathing, peace spells should turn them back. Oh, I guess you're right. The crew of the Iron Ribbon were okay in the end. You just need to remember that Ding Dong Dell here has got a proper bucket full of that horrible ash stuff emptied on it. Hang around for too long and we'll end up like those wretches, P or no P. Gee, I hadn't thought of that. Then we'll have to find that black crystal quickly. Right now, I've heard the ash fell on Al Mamoon and Hamlin as well. I reckon we should probably head straight over there once we've finished over by here. What do you reckon, Ollie boy? Good idea. We have to save those people. So, it seems to me what they're saying is that we should just rush through all of this. Hmm. 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 We're gonna end up in a fight eventually. Hmm. But I don't know if there's a lot of value in avoiding these people. Hmm. Like I can kind of do it. Hmm. Seems like the black thing is in the castle. Hmm. We don't really have a spell at the moment that like, we really don't have a spell that would put him to sleep or anything. It's still going to be a boss fight. So unless I was just looking for an achievement there. Back to voice acting. Tom Tildrum, the Undead. Okay. Let's see. Damage all darkness with darkness. I don't know if I really want to use darkness. But we should test it out. What's funny here is we didn't fight King Tom before, so what I will want to see is if there's possibly a difference. Like, as far as what this character's number is. Like, he might be right next to Hickory Dickory. And yeah, there might be an achievement for never using even star as an attack, but I don't think it's worth it to limit yourself in that way. I suspect we may get some more orbs defeating these kinds of characters. And as such, that may let us cast some unleash spells. Wow, the magic, and I don't really see a reason to try and refill our magic. Hmm. 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 Oh, he just refilled his health. I was not expecting that. Oh, Knickers, he's standing up. You know what that means, Ollie boy. Make sure to hit him hard before he brings his claws to bear down and knock him out of his stride. If we were going to do that, then I should have done something else. I mean, I'll just go ahead and use this Nostrum. Spell. The Phoenix Breath. Hmm. Yeah. We're about to lose Swain and Esther. let's see. Spell, healing hand. Too late. Provision. Hmm. Oh, man. Not working well. Hmm. I need the people to keep me alive and distract for long enough that I can cast the spells, and without as an option. Hmm. Hmm. I probably should just be doing all out defense. I also wouldn't be surprised if I unleashed um like, see what this light fingers does. King Cat's claws. I guess I could have casted I could have cast um I should probably have tried a fire attack. Unleash. Yeah, burdening. Not really doing anything. Should I drink a tonic? Hmm. 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 I think I'm learning my lesson here, though, that I um should have grinded out and fought some of these characters. It would have worked better. Hmm. Seemingly casting a spell does not break his attack. Hmm. Just defend for a while until. Hmm. Hmm. Yep, I'm dead again. See what trick shots we have. Hmm. 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 Astro's almost down. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, this is no good. I need this guy to not die so I can get one hit in. That was really a great example of how you can't cheat these kinds of games. Even if you would want to, you can't skip fights, you can't skip the grinding. This is a why I would love to see abridged versions of games like this where you really would by default just have been somewhere closer to level 53 when you started this fight, just walking through the door, some kind of mod that says, oh, your level's not high enough, let's increase your levels, and just not even tell you about it, have it happen like magically in the background. uh, Wind tunnel. Each of these spells is taking more and more magic, and we're not going to be able to increase the, see, area wide versus a single enemy. Hmm. Hmm. What didn't happen there is the, hmm. Notice she's not drawing any symbols in the air. Although, in all fairness, if you are drawing symbols in the air, then you probably are calling upon some form of godlike creature to use their power. If you were actively creating magic from yourself, it would be much more like how P does it in my own fan fiction mindset as far as magic stories go. Um, because the whole idea of the symbols doesn't make sense. It's not even in the language that still is used. Yeah, whatever has one been doing? Your Majesty, you're back, thank goodness. I'm afraid you turned into a bit of a monster for a minute there. Okay, a complete monster. One remembers nothing. It's okay now, Mr. Cat. Mr. Cat, watch it, you. This here's the king of a kingdom. Such trivialities are no concern for one at present, Fairy. One is more worried about one's total loss of memory. Don't worry, you're okay now, Your Majesty. P saved you, and all the townspeople too. Is that so? Then one must dust oneself off and put one's kingdom back in order. Tidy. We'll leave things in your capable paws, then, Your Majesty. Ollie boy, back to the wyvern. Hmm. And so we don't get to. Well, this is a different type of animation. Hmm. 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 I wonder if I'm going to end up collecting all these wands. Hmm. 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 That's amazing, P. Your magic really did have the power to purify the mana. It's interesting she's holding a flower now. Huh? Yes, it did. We cleaned up the ash. That's some proper potent magic you've got there, young un. You might even be better at this wizarding art than Ollie Boy here. Ollie's very good too. Here's a flower. It's to say thank you. Huh? I've never seen a flower like that before. Where did you get it, P? It was where the crystal was. Crystal, the black crystal that you destroyed? What kind of flowers thrive in a place full of monster making ash? It's my flower. You can have it. Thank you very much, P. We'll take real good care of it. Hmm. Oddly magical. Hmm. Hmm. So we're getting backstory as to P. We don't know which wizard king this is. Hmm. Hmm. Of course, this could be thousands of years ago. So the Council of 12 is the Zodiarchs. Hmm. Hmm. So it's obvious she is the soulmate of um she is the soulmate of the White Witch. Hmm. 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 I guess this is how she's going to abdicate any claim, although she may not have claim to being the Wizard Queen anymore. Because again, this could have been thousands of years ago. Queen P. Yes, I'm Queen P. You're flipping what? P. Was that really you? Yes, silly. I'm Queen P. You mean to tell us you're in charge of the whole country somewhere? Then what are you doing here? You can't leave your kingdom in the lurch at a time like this. Look who's talking. You left the whole empire in the lurch. Ouch. Anyway, if what we just saw now is true, where exactly is this kingdom of yours, P? Yes, we've flown all over the world on Tingri's back, but we've never come across anywhere like that. You met her in your world, did you not, Oliver? Perhaps her kingdom is there. I don't think so. Anyway, the flower. It's from this world. That's true. Which would suggest that she is linked to our world somehow. I'm bored. Yeah, you know what? Most games should have that happen. Just have the character say they're bored and stop with the over dialogue. Zip it, kiddo. The grown-ups are talking. I told you, I'm not a child. Could have fooled me. Anyway, you said the flower was from where the black crystal was, ain't it? Yes, it was where the crystal was. And there's other places where this man has been falling, ain't it? So there could be more crystals and more flowers in those other places. And with those flowers may come more clues to P's true identity and the location of her kingdom. Ain't it though? We better keep the flower we've got nice and safe, too. could be important. Right, P, do you mind if we look after the flower for you? You can keep it. As heartwarming as this is, aren't there still thousands of ash monsters people to save? Right, we have to go help them. We've obtained the Flower of Youth. So, everything is at the maximum. We can briefly hope to see if maybe we would level something up. I would level more things up if I swap this guy out, so let's do that. And while we're at it, let's evolve this guy. So that would be this. Nope. So we need to craft a jumbo star drop in alchemy, which we can do. And I'm gonna pretty much assume interesting. Wait a minute. I messed myself up, didn't I? These Princess Chocolate are made with a bar of fairy chocolate, which is here, and is an ingredient, and a handful of snowdrop bonbons, which is here. So, unless it's blue, I should not create any of them. Well, I messed up there. But I also said I was not going to spend a lot of time here trying to craft things with alchemy, because we're not going to collect we're not going to collect a lot of items, I think. I can make a candle cutter. I could make shadow glass knives. Alright, so we'll come over to this system. Weird that there are two systems. And then I guess this would be about the right place. It may be a case where this is the tier of characters that we will start capturing. They will either be they will be at that second tier or second to last tier. Medics versus Angelics. I don't know if I need another healing character, though. I'm gonna go the other way. We have no idea what this guy actually eats either. And I think this probably means that the Snow White ice cream will turn into an ingredient that we can use later. Alright. And I'm assuming Princess Chocolate is safe to feed to this guy. And everything else is an ingredient. I probably don't have anything else that's high enough. This Snow White ice cream, I do suspect, will become an ingredient later on. I'm not going to do anything with these gems. You would almost hope, what would happen is that you would be able to merge the gems into a either cheaper version of the spell or a better version of spells. It's also going to be kind of weird to see if we ever get any other pieces of heart. We may be totally done with that concept. Hmm. 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 I don't think I probably need to run around and talk to all these people multiple times. We should make a save though. Hmm. Hmm. So they just fast traveled us to Ding Dong Dell. Seems like what they're gonna rely on us to do is just use the magic spell. Hmm. Or we can fly on the back of the dragon. Seems a little weird to fly on the back of the dragon, but I also know that's part of the trailer at, at the beginning of the game, so it does kind of feel like everybody is potentially saying something different. Of course, it's just stupid dialogue I don't care about, so whatever. Hmm. Let's see how this goes. All right. We are now set up in a way that it looks like we can fly wherever we want. And I guess you just fly somewhere close to this one to reach that. And there's the boat. You would have to. Hmm. You'd have to land to see if there's any monsters. And I kind of get the feeling that the world is pretty much the same. Hmm. Looks like someone left footprints. Interesting, that's different. Hmm. 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 So everybody's back to having some quests that you can do. I don't think it's particularly worth it to talk to everybody. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people here, but and it would be kind of a pointless thought experiment to try and figure out which monster we may have fought and would have ended up being the monsters. Is this a new couple, or is this just a group of people I don't remember because they were at the very beginning of the game? Hmm. All right. So there's only one new quest, it seems. And there are no bounty hunts. Okay, good to know. Hmm. Are there any footprints that would indicate I should go this way. Because that's kind of what I would assume, is that the mouse stole the things. We still don't have anything new in the shops. That didn't upgrade. I definitely should take some extra time and grind it out and do some side quests. Footprints lead out of town. We'll look for footprints. Otherwise, could be basically anywhere. Let's. Yep, these guys are terrified of me and running away still. We could go and check this area. Nope, it's this area. So the game asking you if you were ready to leave at the beginning of this act really didn't matter so much. You're strong, thank you. Okay. So we've just got to find the right angle to shoot that. And that's the only chest in here, so. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of reason to do a lot of things. If we think about like dangerous places, I could probably get everything in Ding Dong Well, but I think I am going to end up going back there. Same is true for Golden Grove, because there's that whole robot thing. Some of these have definitely been cleared, and maybe we won't ever go back to them. Do we have any new progress reports? All right, so let's just travel then to Castaway Cove. This is not a major kingdom city, so what will this be like? As people, they're running around doing their things. No big surprise there. Probably own one of everything here. Yeah, I've got pretty much every ingredient you would need. And there isn't a weapon shop in this city because it's so anti-weapon, and I guess that makes sense. Right. So nothing there. Go back to Ding Dong now. There was the claw marks leading outside of the city, and there's another claw mark. Leads to the west. So we'll follow those claw marks. Northwest. Let's fight these guys. Maybe we just haven't captured these guys, or maybe there's something to it. Like, this is going to be ridiculous. It's just going to be one-hit kills. And that's not going to give you real experience. 5 experience, 6 gold, and some items. It's not even worth the time. Northwest. It's off to the north. Relatively fresh. So maybe I'm supposed to go this direction. Do you see a couple creatures? There's something fishy about this fellow by here. You must be our thief. Are you sure, Mr. Drippy? There ain't no time to call flipping witness, man. Actions are what's needed. You ready for some, Molly boy? Right, there you are. Let's go. Gob Forsaken. Which, that's kind of a... Let's see. Big, he's strong. And there might be something to be said about accuracy if these guys are, if I'm missing him fairly often with Mighty. Like, you would like to hope in most of these games that you get your accuracy up to 100 and then that's just a 100% hit chance. In fact, in most RPG games, I think I would be more than happy to not have accuracy counts at all. And just have it consistently be a case where every time you attack, you hit for some amount of damage at least. Seems the creature was innocent. Drippy led us astray. Unless we're going to seek fortune and find that there's some chests. Ooh, there is a lot of chests. Hey, look, Mr. Drippy, these footprints are different from the ones we saw in Ding Dong Dell. Don't be daft, Ollie, I'm pretty sure I would have noticed it. Oh, knickers. We've been following the rock blimey blinking trail. Alright, well. Forward we go. Is there anybody in this forest? It kind of makes sense that there would be. Nope, just a whole bunch of trees. Let's see. Hidden. Can't get into a cave. I half suspect I've never just spent the time to get all of these treasure chests, and that they were always available to me. If that's not the case, and these treasure chests are new, then it doesn't really make a lot of sense that I'm getting such small rewards from it. If anything, this is, though, explaining to me or showing me that if I had actively not collected any of the treasure chests until very late in the game, I wouldn't get bigger rewards for it. There seems to be a set reward in every treasure chest, which I guess that makes sense. Supple leather. I don't think I've ever actually walked around this area. And I wasn't still doing that whole quest, but this has led me towards it. And it's given me an excuse to use a bridge again. Seek fortune again. It's another one right here. It's not like they're really there, though, and that kind of sucks. Like, it would make a lot more sense to uh, it would make a lot more sense if you actually walked into a chest and it was somewhat visible. There have been times in games where I've seen chests that are supposed to be invisible and you can clearly see an outline in it, and I thought that was a little cheap. But for a kids game in particular, it makes all the sense in the world that it would only be somewhat invisible and would actually be very easy to find still. If I haven't been over in these areas, there is a possibility that there's some big item. I guess the question to ask would be, I still don't see a way I would capture any of these characters. Marquesian's dialogue, line of dialogue, is not any real more offensive than any of the others. What I should do, we should look at the map and see if we can see. There's a tree group here, and there is a tree group here. So we should check that out. And then each one of these is a treasure chest. So you know about those too. We got the treasure chest. We're starting to see some different characters. I don't know if that means anything. It may very well just be a case of we're seeing higher levels of characters we've already seen, or Maybe this area's. This is the other guy. Inspector Drippy does it again. This fellow here is our culprit, I'm sure of it. Well, if you're sure. I've never been this sure in my life, man. Now you ready to administer some justice or what? Yep. Puss in Boots. Yeah, almost certainly this is going to be a case where the there is no whisker thief and it was a mistake, and Drippy is just going to be proven to be wrong multiple times over. These are not particularly challenging fights, so unless there was something that was kind of preventing you from casting spells or refilling your health or refilling your mana, you're gonna be fine. That creature was innocent too. We have never been in this forest. I don't know if there's supposed to be something special. I know all. I know why stars appear. I know why moon is eaten. I tell you a good thing. Go east. East of forest. Find land of cats. Did I not tell you? I know all. It wants fairies play. We laugh so much. Now fairies go. We no more laugh. Okay, curry. And apparently I don't have any curry on me. That seems odd. Hmm. 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 Well, I'm missing recipe 1 and 2. So, yeah, there is some like early game stuff here clearly I've missed. And yet I've seemingly unlocked almost everything else. Alright, let's chart chests. Because there's probably a green chest somewhere around here. It's a shame that chart chest and seek fortune aren't the same. It's on top. Aren't the same spell. It really feels like it should be the same spell. There might be a point where we end up like this guy wants curry, but that doesn't even seem like that's a quest. I guess you were supposed to just have used the bridge spell to reach that area a lot earlier. And then, how do we want to handle this? I think we'll land here. And then we'll seek fortune. And we'll see where we need to go. A lot of places that are right around the Ding Dong Dell. It was very weird that there was so many secret chests. But I guess that makes more sense now. If the vast majority of the ones I haven't collected are here. It's interesting that P is in the group in the overworld. Wouldn't have really expected her to wander around. Although, it's kind of ridiculous that they wander around at all. Sour Sunday. Have we ever even had one of those before? It's just cast Seek Fortune. I could wander around and be very close to it, but it would waste time. It's much better to just have the exact thing marked on the map. Wooden sword. It does kind of feel like some of the items, even these low-level items, are items you only get once. And as such, they may be ingredients to crafting only one copy of some kind of stronger weapon. It's probably this tree. Nope. It's that bone. Well, there's one more. So we should go get it. And while we're looking, we should see if we find any more. Find any more tracks. It's in this little area. Two slices of pie. Alright, well, that is all of that. Okay. And then the quest that we're doing right now, the cat's whiskers. Follow the footprints and recover the cat's whiskers. It does seem like that's what we have to do. Off to the west. To the northwest. Hey, look, Mr. Trippy, the footprints are different from the ones that we saw from Ding Dong Dell. Don't be daft, I'm pretty sure I would have noticed. Oh, Nick, because we have been following a long blinking trail. Okay. These lead northwest. I'm looking around just to see if we see any more footprints. This would lead more northwest. I could be. Well, interesting. We do have one to capture. The serenading never has gotten faster. You could easily see how you can make a mod to just auto serenade. It would be a long time before I would have like the full 400 slots full of creatures, and to the point where I need to start releasing creatures into the wild, which is not hitting that point anyways. Okay. So then the question goes, should I be following that path? Or should I be going back? Southeast, they seem relatively fresh. Right. So it's this probably this big guy. Hmm. Make a lot of sense that this would be the last fight. Like I don't really expect that we should go into major fight, a major conflict here. Let's see. Let's try some major overkill here and see what a standard kind of bounty hunter level character would do. Let's try water damage. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. So he does seem to struggle. He does seem to be weak against water damage. So we can just unleash Howling Blizzard on him a couple times. Although he does also seem like one of these characters that just has a ton of health. It seems like I'm gonna run out of mana. Alright, well. Then we need to stick somebody out here. And so it's probably a little crazy to throw this guy out. Yeah, he's just gonna do like 1 damage. It's probably a little crazy to throw this guy out. Yep. So even though Mighty is fire damage, and this is a fire damage character, you can see I've poured so much into his attack that he's doing like 3640 all the time. And he does have this big beard, the character does, so I think that is probably an indication that he is the Whisker Thief. Although beards and whiskers are different things. Yep, we got the cat's whiskers. Leveled up some of our lower characters. It was restore our all allies' health. That sounds good. Let's get rid of the other one then. Okay. Travel to Ding Dong Dell because it's faster. One thing I want to check. Where are we as far as hidden treasures found? Yeah. There's 32 still to be found. Which that's very believable. I could see where you could hide 32 around places we haven't been yet. Hey, you got the whiskers back. Sorry it took so long. Oh my beloved cat whiskers. Thank you, thank you. I don't even know how to repay you. Just don't get them pinched again, alright? No, I shan't. I shan't. They'll never leave my sight again, not for a single second. I must give you a reward, please. Take this. So that was almost one full stamp for doing that quest, which I guess maybe indicates that um, that we could do 15 more quests in total in the game, and that might be everything. This is the cheapest place to stay to refill our health, so we'll stay. I'm also at 40,000 even, which seems odd. Go ahead and save our progress. There really is no scenario where I would go back to any of these old save files unless there's just major corruption that happened. Okay. I suspect Alma Moon would be the easier one. If we were to say seek fortune here and look. Yep. There are no treasure chests in this area. So pretty much on this mainland, there's no treasure chests left. It would just be the other islands. You can see a darkness surrounding Alma Moon. And I want to do a fight and just see how this really goes. If they're turned into monsters, then you have all these different creatures. I seriously doubt you do have to actually be careful with these guys. They seem to be very resilient. Hmm. Hmm. I don't like the little animation where he wipes off his lapel. That seems like an odd animation to make. Okay, let's look at the creature companion now. I was interested in a couple things here. King Tom the 14th is interesting. It tells you what kind of XP and gold you got from them too. The Cat King's Claws. I don't think I equipped that. So these wretches are straight up numbered characters. We should fight them all. There still are some odd gaps here where it feels like we might fight a Vile Heart, a a third time, and the Eternal Night a second time. We won't be fighting Shadar by the numbering system. I was thinking King Tom might be right after Hickory Dock, but if that's not the case, then we're probably fighting Hickory Dock a second time and the Guardian of the Woods. The numbers just keep going higher and higher. So there's fairly difficult to figure out how close you are to potentially seeing all of them unless you look at the numbers. And it does really just feel like it's going to get down to being very trivial. We have all 4 of these kinds of characters. Yeah. At a certain point, the form familiar spell should reset itself and let you use it. It definitely feels viable that you would see each of these characters, like each version of these characters. It definitely does not seem viable that you would collect all of them. And it kind of feels like it wants you to see them all and collect them all, but maybe it just wants you to see them all. And maybe we have only seen half of them. Let's see, King's Cat's Claws. Do we have something else that... Radiant Blade restores HP. I think the Radiant Blade should probably be used if you've got it to restore HP. And then this would be more accuracy and more attack compared to that. The order in which some of these items are sorted is weird. Seems like it's alphabetical for no good reason. Alright. So I think the idea probably that I should go and fight all these characters. And the shopkeepers are just going to be missing until we purify the city. Which probably means you can't sleep either. This is not particularly a great dungeon. It really is just a mad dash to a boss fight. If anything, this really highlights where they stopped caring about there really being dungeons in this game. They clearly didn't put a lot of effort into it. I have to assume that these retros are just considered like sub-boss characters and you can't capture them. It'd be weird to capture them since they're not technically familiars. I guess guardians may not be familiars technically either. Alright, well. Is there anything else we we really need to look at or think about. It's going to be a while before I get any new significant amount of items. I seem to just be getting fish burgers off of these characters. So, yeah. I don't think I really need to do alchemy. I don't think we'll be doing pieces of heart for a while. We still have that one side quest of getting the snow-loving creatures. So that would get us halfway towards another stamp card being done. But we would need 4. It is going to be kind of a catch-22 because either I save up 8 to unlock full potential as a wizard and a hero, which arguably maybe, just maybe, unlocks this and this, and potentially may have unlocked all of this last tier stuff. But yeah, I think that's what I would focus on. Standing to recover health is not that important, and befriending familiars I don't think is going to be that important. We won't have food to feed anybody, even though we have been finding things. It's all been kind of low level things. We probably won't unlock anything new. There is a thought, certainly, as to if you have a Skyfall sword and it requires a sainted sword and 2 star pearls and 3 meteorite fragments, and then you have a candle cutter that requires a flint dagger and an ember stone. Are you supposed to merge this together with this to make this? Suppose that might be a case. Actually, there's probably several ingredients here that I could use to craft something that are just not showing up as formulas for one reason or another. There's something limiting these instructions from showing up in the alchemy setup. I don't know if it's you're supposed to pretend like you're actually reading all of this or what. If these were the only items you could craft and this is how you got the formulas only, that would certainly play a role. See, yeah, Princess Chocolate definitely was not there before. And I suspect Snowdrop Bonbons weren't there before. So these covered up pieces are probably formulas that require you to get the formula somewhere else. Tutti Frutti ice cream is a top tier item. Alright. So, yeah, there's something to that. And then we haven't seen any of these. At this point, we could read the 12 tales of the 12 wonders. You almost wonder if there might be an achievement around that. There very possibly is going to be some kind of quiz later on around this ridiculously large amount of text. Yep. They wasted their time paying the writers to write this instead of having them write better dialogue in the game. I don't think I can save here. So let's just save outside. Yeah, we'll have to clear out Alma Moon in the next episode and then clear out Hamlin, and that will lead towards the next area unlocking. If we look at the world map, this glowing eyeball on the world map, specifically the one in the top right, that'll be something, and then this area will be something. I don't know if we're going to have to fight a specific monster everywhere we see a monster drawn on the map, but it wouldn't be that crazy, honestly, if there is a big time monster there. We might also be at a point where we could fly P to one of these rocks, and P might be able to interpret what is written on the rocks. There might be some backstory to that. And then there is the Tombstone Trail and its casino, which we still haven't figured out a way that we'd really want to engage with that casino. Not really that much more. The game continues as we approach a true 60-hour mark. It just goes on and on. We desperately need to find a city to spend our money in, at the very least. Otherwise, I'm going to die and lose it. And that is definitely a concern. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me even further than that, there's a link to Patreon. Or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.